Many of us have seen the film 300 about the small band of Spartans that stood their ground against an army of over 1 million Persians at the Battle of Thermopylae. But just how much of the story was true and how much has been made into a legend over the years and finally totally corrupted by Hollywood. Unfortunately, the full truth will never be known because so many years have passed since the heyday of the Spartan culture and historical records are few and far between. What we do know is that a great warrior state existed in a portion of what we now know to be Greece, and that these people were uniquely and truly ahead of their time in many ways. Who were the Spartans, and what was it like to be in their society over 2,000 years ago? Let's start at the beginning. The first thing we must do is correct a common misconception about Sparta. Sparta was not a nation itself. To the contrary, Sparta was merely a powerful city-state within the nation known as Lacedaemon. Sparta was so powerful because of their very important geographical location on the banks of the Eurotas River. This river ran through a region of ancient Greece known as Laconia, which was part of a larger area known as Peloponnese. The other reason Sparta was so powerful was because of their army. The Spartans put great importance into the presence of a powerful army, both as a deterrent to attack and as a symbol of strength and prosperity. Their society was so wealthy that they could afford to raise, train, and care for a very large standing army. While many cities were struggling to feed their people, the Spartans had plenty to go around and ensured that their army had the very best of everything, to include leadership, armor, weapons, and food. Of course, there were other wealthy and powerful ancient Greek city-states. During the time of Spartan's great power, two of their greatest adversaries were the Athenians and the Thebans. The Spartans fought their regular bloody battles with the Thebans and Athenians. They were mostly victorious and won a decisive victory over the Athenians during the Peloponnesian War. This victory, more than any other, cemented and perpetuated the opinion that Spartan armies was always to be feared and respected. However, every great army can also face a defeat, as the Spartans did in the Battle of Leuctra in 371 BC against the Thebans. The Spartans were so determined to win the battle that they committed virtually every one of their soldiers to the fray. In the end, however, Thebes emerged victorious and delivered a defeat to Sparta that was so severe that they never fully recovered. In addition to its military and economic prowess, Sparta was important to the world for another significant reason. They were one of the earliest nations to create and follow a constitution. This constitution established laws, gave rights to women, and separated the nation's citizens into different categories, all of which had a specific unique role within their society. These groups ranged from full Spartan citizens who were free to slaves who were property of the Spartan and were not considered Spartan citizens. The Spartiates, who were full Spartan citizens, were the class of citizen that was allowed to train and become a Spartan warrior. It was these soldiers that bravely stood their ground against a vastly superior force at the Battle of Thermopylae and were killed to the last man. In conclusion, through the passage of time, much of the truth about ancient Spartans has been lost forever. However, what we do know is that they were a very wealthy nation that occupied a strategic location, allowing it to prosper economically. We also know that this economic success led to the creation and establishment of one of the greatest warrior armies the world has ever known. Furthermore, the economic and military strength of ancient Sparta was supported through the rule of law in the form of one of the earliest constitutions known to man.